What is up? You've made it to the CRM training video. Appreciate you being here. As you can see, this is a longer video and I've broken it down into chapters so you guys can flip through to whatever timestamp you want and come back to this video, watch it whenever. I would recommend watching this from start to finish though. Do not skip through unless you've watched it fully through and then you get confused with something and you want to come back. That's when I would, start going through the chapters. But you've made it. Thanks so much for tuning in. We're going to go over the entire CRM today so that you know exactly how you're going to be responding to your leads and the most efficient and effective way to do it. So here's where you could start. If you want to go onto your computer, type in app.GoHighLevel.com. You get brought right here. It says sign into your account. You should be already signed in because we did this on the onboarding call. Type in your email that I gave you, type in the password, click on sign in. It'll ask for a 2-factor code. Once you type in that code, it takes like a second or two, but you'll be brought right into the database and that screen looks something like this. So now that you're in high level, we can start on the left-hand side. You have your dashboard. Your dashboard shows you the number of leads. As you can see, there's a blue circle highlighted and then there's a number inside, and on the top right hand corner there's 2 dates. So there's today's date, which is February 25th, and then it goes back 1 month from today's current date and it pulls that number of leads. So there's been 78 leads for this client in the last month, and then if you want to flip through to a different time frame, say you want to view, okay, how many leads have I gotten this year or this month or in the last 7 days, it's all custom, so you can go through, kind of break it down exactly how you want. Opportunity value, what this will do is take the current number of leads and multiply it by your average booking cost. So on the onboarding call, I more than likely asked you what the average booking cost is at your venue. For them, it's around $5,000. So if you take 5,000, multiply that by 18, you get $85,000. I know you're not going to close every lead. That's common sense. This is kind of just to show you what is my pipeline evaluated at if I were to close all them, just so you could see, number wise what you'd be looking at. And then you can do the numbers on here. Say, out of all the leads you get, you close around half of them or whatever the case is. You can take this figure and guesstimate exactly, what you guys are pulling in. Conversion rate is going to be blank. That's always going to be 0%. So the 2 main features on here are where it says opportunity status, the total number of leads, and then opportunity value. As you scroll down, nothing on here really means too much, honestly. It's just the same, statistics as above, just broken down in a different way. So there's really not too much to worry about on here. So that's your dashboard. If you click on conversations on your left-hand side, you have unread, recents, starred, and all. So unread is all your unreplied conversations. That's how I want you to think of unread. These are all messages that people have sent to you that you have not responded to yet. So let me just pull up an example right here. Nadia, she wrote, how about Monday? The venue owner hasn't replied yet. Once they do reply, this message and this contact right here, Nadia, will get moved into all. So we're not going to do it to Nadia only because the venue owner will go in and book in this tour. But for example, Vera, right? Okay, thank you. We'll just write back, no problem. And you'll see she is no longer, if I click on all and then unread again, she's no longer in unread. She is now currently in all. So unread is only your unreplied messages for when somebody writes you and you haven't gotten back to them yet. And just so you know, you can ignore recents and starred. The only 2 that you have to worry about are unread and all. Another common question that I get is, say for example, you click on the message and you don't respond and then you click out of it. Is it still technically unread? The answer is yes. It only gets marked as, it only gets taken off of unread once you reply, not if you open up the message. Like I'm looking at it here. If I click out and then click back on it, it's still unread. This will only go away once I reply, and then it'll get moved into all. And now take, for example, Brianna over here. She responded, thanks so much again for your time. I'll go through it. Say there's a lead where you don't have to write her back and she kind of ends it, or he or she just ends it on a note of like, thank you so much, I'll be in touch. And you just don't feel the need to write back. What you can do is mark a message as read on your own. So say you don't want to respond, but you want to mark it as read to get it out of this unread section over here. You just click on this envelope button. You mark it as read and you'll see Brianna is now, if I scroll down this list a little bit, because it's an older lead, I just searched her name up over here, but she's under all. And then say I mark a lead as read accidentally and I want to move them back to the unread section. You just click mark as unread and it will move them back to unread. Yep, so now she's under unread. So you get the point. You can mark leads as read, you can mark them as unread, but the main thing, if you ever get confused, you want to check unread. These are all your unreplied messages. You can go through and write them back from here. Right below conversations, we have calendars. Under calendars, on your right-hand side, you have users, and then you have calendars. So what you're going to want to do is click on calendars, click on the calendar that we created for you, and you'll see the tours appearing on the calendar right here. This is either integrated to your Google or Outlook calendar. This is honestly custom for every single venue, but you will see there will be a calendar created on under this column right here. You just want to make sure it's selected and you'll see the tours popping up right here. Under contacts, this is where we have all the leads that we've generated, their phone number, their email, and exactly where they came from. So for example, this venue, Copper Gables Barn, we're separating it based on event leads, wedding leads, and the reason why we have that set up is because on the site, we created, once it loads, we have two different tabs, wedding pricing and event pricing. So we just want to differentiate between the two so that we tag them. These are tags. So we know the type of lead coming through and it shows exactly what type of lead they are. For example, wedding leads, event leads, contact us leads. This lead came from this form on the site. It's just essentially showing the source of the lead and where exactly they're coming from. And then under opportunities, you'll see we have different stages. We have new lead, replied, it needs more time, auto follow-up, tour booked, tour no-show canceled, tour showed, sent proposal, event booked, and then we have not interested all the way to the right of the screen because we don't really have to look at the leads that are not interested. So we have all this fully broken down. I'll dive into this later on in the CRM training, but just so you know, this is a drag and drop system. So you can drag and drop leads wherever you'd like to. I'll cover this later on in the video, but just so you know, if you click in the little white spot and you can see exactly where I'm clicking, if I click down and I hold, I can drag and drop the leads to wherever I'd like. So now that you guys understand text messages back and forth, you could see we send out our first automated message, the second automated message, the couple and the person responded, then we're texting back again. So you could see this is a text message thread back and forth. Now let's talk about email sending because that does look a little bit different. So just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to go to the Copper Gables Barn website, go under wedding pricing, and I'm going to fill out the form that is currently on the website. And you will see in just a second, I will get an automated email sent to the email that I'm putting in. Boom, download the pricing guide. I will get an email sent to that email that I just put on file, and you'll see that in just a second. So we can see the email right here, Copper Gables Barn pricing guide, a little bit about the venue, the pricing guide right in the email. If you'd like to set up a tour, please let me know. So now what I'm going to do, and this is just making pretend I am the couple who's inquiring or I'm the person who's inquiring, I'm going to reply to this automated email that I got. So I'm just going to say, great, when can I come in for a tour? Click on send, and now we will be able to see this email reply in high level right now. So now if we check under conversations, we can see under unread, we have my name right over here. And just so you know, unread is all your unreplied messages. So we can see we have my name, and then we just see an email thread with the number 2. Now, what does that number 2 mean? That means there was one message that got sent out, and then there's been one message sent back. So that means there's conversation going on back and forth in this email thread. So what you're going to want to do, pop this open, so you click right on it. And then if you scroll down a little bit, we can see the reply is right here. Great, when can I come in for a tour? Now, this is exactly what you're gonna see on your end. So what you want to do is reply to this email. So what you do is you click on reply, and then you type up the email. And just so you know, you can see at the bottom of the screen, we have SMS, WhatsApp, and email. It may be very tempting for you to just go to email, click right here, type up a brand new subject, type up a message, and then click on send. That's actually not what you want to do. You wanna make sure you keep everything in the same email thread when you're emailing back and forth. And the way to know that you're doing this correct is if you click into the email thread and you click on the reply button right here, you don't have the option to add an email subject. So we can see it just says type a message right over here. So you would type up your email and then just click on send. So that's how you know that you're sending emails correct if you don't have the option to essentially create an email subject. Because if you click on email over here, you can create a subject. We don't want to do that. We want to keep everything in the same thread. So you would open up the email, you can see the reply, you click on reply right over here, and then you just send the email back. So I'm just going to reply to this email. I'm just going to say, how's tomorrow? Obviously, you want to make your email response a little bit more in depth than that. But if we click on send, you can see this lead will now move out of unread. If I go and I just go back into conversations, that lead is no longer under unread because I just replied. So now they will be moved into all. So now I can see over here, there's an email response from the venue owner. And now if we click on, I'm just going to make pretend I'm the couple, I'm replying back. I'll say, let's do 1 p.m. We can see My response will now be in GoHighLevel again under unread. Let's take a look. Beautiful. So now we have HighLevel back open, and you can see it shows the number 4. That means there's been 4 messages back and forth. We pop this open and you can see it says let's do 1 p.m. So that's exactly how you want to send emails back and forth in HighLevel. I would recommend you actually set up the tours. Say for example, somebody's emailing you. I would recommend you email them back through HighLevel with the way I just showed you and actually set up their tour through HighLevel through the email setting in HighLevel. But when it comes to actually sending out contracts, I would recommend you do that email sending totally separate from HighLevel. So here's what you would do. You would set up the tour the exact same way that you're seeing here. So you would be emailing the couple back and forth, set up the tour through HighLevel. Then when it comes time to actually send them over the contract when they want to book the venue, what you would do is take their email address, copy this email address right here because we have all their information on file. We have their email, phone number, everything. And if you use Gmail or Outlook, you can just send out an email with the contract via Gmail or via Outlook the way you typically send emails. One thing that we more than likely set up for you on our initial onboarding call was something called two-way sync. So because the contact, we can see Dario, team at Del Peru Hospitality, because I am already a contact within GoHighLevel, if you send out an email to this email address, the email will show in GoHighLevel. So it'll be synced and we'll be able to see all the email communication back and forth, even if you do it outside of HighLevel at that point. So I would recommend you send emails back and forth via GoHighLevel to actually set up the tour. And then once the tour is set up and that person is ready to move forward and book the venue, you take their email address right over here and you do the communication outside of HighLevel. It will still be synced with the CRM. So that covers all communication through HighLevel, email, text. If you want to call a lead, just so you guys know, there's a button right here where it says call. You just click on this and it'll put the call through right to the lead. And then another thing you can do is just take this number and call them separately outside of GoHighLevel. It's totally up to you. We really recommend to our clients to do whatever you're comfortable with. If you like calling from your phone, call from your phone. Calling from the computer does no harm either. It shows up to these people as your business number. So whichever you want works totally fine. All right, so we're just going to submit a test lead. Today, I am Michael Jackson. So I'm just putting in a random name. Download your pricing guide. Email is invalid. Okay, so we'll do michaeljackson@gmail.com and download. All right, beautiful. So we will see under conversations in just a minute, the name Michael Jackson will appear right here. All right, so Michael Jackson is now a contact. That's perfect. So this is appearing under all because Michael didn't respond to the automated message. I put my number in here for demonstration purposes, but once Michael were to respond to this automated message, then, like I said, you would see it in unread or unreplied. You reply to them, and then they'll go back to all. They'll keep moving back and forth, depending on if they write you, if you write them, etc. So we have Michael right here, and say Michael Jackson wants to come in for a tour of the Marion House. What do we do? So you have to click on this calendar button right here. Appointments, book appointment, calendar. This is the calendar that we have integrated with GoHighLevel. You don't have to touch a thing here. Appointment title, you leave a blank. This is going to autofill with the person's name. Time zone, this is going to be whatever time zone your venue is in. So these guys are in New Jersey. Whatever time zone you guys are in, it's going to default to right here, so you don't have to worry about changing that. You click on the date, select the time that you want to book it in for, click on book appointment. Now, I'm not going to book this in only because the venue owner would get a notification saying Michael Jackson has scheduled a tour of the Marion House. We don't want that to happen. So, but yeah, what you would do is just click on book appointment and then you'll get a notification anytime a lead schedules in a tour, just a confirmation for you as well, so you know that it went through. And if you go to calendars right here, and you click on, they have two different calendars. They have a tour calendar and then they have a CCC calendar, but you click on tour calendar. For them, all the tours are in green. So you will see it, whatever date and time you book it for, it'll pop up right here. You click on it and it'll say Marion House and whatever the person's name is, in-person tour. All the appointment titles are totally custom. If you guys do FaceTime tours or Zoom tours, whatever the case is, this title is going to look different, but it's going to autofill with the person's name. So Misty in-person tour. So you're going to know exactly who you'll be touring. You'll see it on your Google Calendar, Outlook calendar, whatever calendar you use, it will pop up on there. And once you book it in, book appointment, you click on book appointment, the lead under opportunities will automatically be in the tour booked stage. So whenever you book in a tour, they're going to be here. So under the tour booked stage, these are all people that are going to come into tour. They just haven't yet. So that's booking in the tour. And just so you guys know, we have a sequence of automated reminders that will go out to these people to notify them of their tour so that they actually show up. And let me just show you what those look like. So once the tour gets booked, they get a confirmation. Hi, whatever the person's name is, your tour of the venue name has been scheduled. Looking forward to seeing you soon. Appointment title is the title of the appointment that pops up in the Google Calendar, so they'll get a confirmation here. Date and time, meeting location. So they know exactly where to show up and the time to actually show up at. So they responded with got it. Then one day before the tour, we send out a message saying, hi, whatever the person's name is, just confirming your tour tomorrow at 5 p.m. She wrote back a minute later, we will be there. And this sends, keep in mind, exactly one day prior to the tour. And then 1 hour before the tour, we send out another automated messages. This is our final automated message saying, I'll see you in 1 hour, the person's name. And then she liked the message. So she showed up for her tour. Like I said, these are going to send out automatically, but there will be certain scenarios where people will respond to this message saying, hey, I need to cancel. So in that case, what you'll do is go to calendars, find their appointment on the calendar. For example, Sierra, say Sierra was a no-show or she wrote you prior to the tour that she couldn't make it. You click on the appointment, click on this pencil button right here, and then change the status to either no-show or canceled. They both do the same thing. Then click on save appointment. It will automatically move them under opportunities to tour no-show canceled, and it will stop all the reminders getting sent out so that they don't get more appointment confirmations even after they wrote you that they had to cancel the appointment. You don't want their phone getting more reminders for a tour that they said they weren't already going to make. So we make it easily accessible to prevent that from happening. So that's obviously one outcome if the tour is a no-show, but if the tour is showed, what you will do is go under calendars, go to the tour appointment right here. You click on the pencil button, and then where it says confirmed, you just switch it to showed. Click on save appointment, and what that will do is automatically move the lead directly underneath tour showed. Now, just so you guys know, these are mental notes for you. So once the lead is under tour showed, the follow-up from here is manual. We've actually experimented with automatic text messages going out after the tour, automatic emails. We actually see that the conversion rate drops significantly because we have split tested automatic text messages getting sent out post-tour versus manually calling that person or emailing that person or texting that person. And we see time and time again that sending that person a personalized follow-up message after their tour is so much more impactful and leads to a way better conversion rate as opposed to just an automatic text message getting sent to that person after their tour. So all the follow-up after the tour is fully personal. And just so you guys know, this is a drag and drop system. So I showed you for the tour no-show and canceled, what you'll do is obviously go to the calendars, find the appointment, mark it as either a no-show or canceled. But another way to do it is to find the lead under tour booked that was a no-show and drag them to tour no-show canceled. Or if the tour was shown, you just drag them into tour showed. This is a drag and drop system, and if you drag and drop the lead into the proper stage, it will stop all the automation. So say for example, Sierra writes you and texts you, hey, I can't make the tour. You can either go to calendars, mark the appointment status as either no-show or canceled, or just find Sierra under tour booked and drag her to tour no-show canceled, and that will stop all the appointment reminders confirming her appointment. And then if Sierra is a shown tour, you can go to calendars, mark the appointment status as showed, or you can just find the person's name right here under tour booked, drag them into tour showed, and that will automatically send them out the thank you message. So there's two different ways you could do it. So once you have a shown tour through the door, that's step one, but there are more steps in the sales funnel after that for you guys. So you either send them out a proposal or a contract. You can let us know whatever you want to change this to. We can make the wording say proposal or contract. Say for example, to Brianna, you sent her out a contract or a proposal, you would just drag her over there. This is really just a mental note. This is not going to fire off any automations if you drag a lead into send proposal. This is just for you to see, okay, I sent Natalie and Mason a proposal, and then I could follow up with these leads over here. And then we have the event book stage. So this is the final step of the sales funnel in terms of what we can actually control on our end. So once you book in an event, if Natalie calls or emails you guys saying she's ready to proceed and book the venue, you just take her lead, click in this white space right here. As you can see, I have the little thing on the screen where it shows you where I'm clicking. You click right here and hold, and then you just drag it under event booked. And that's not going to send any messages or anything to the lead. That is just going to signal to you, okay, here are all the events that I have booked, and then you can call or text these people as you'd like. And then there's one stage and scenario that I haven't brought up yet. It's the needs more time stage. So these are all people that text and they say, hey, listen, I love the venue, but I'm going to need a bit more time. Like for example, right here, we are in the process of narrowing down our options. So that is not necessarily a dead lead. You're going to want to follow up with this lead because you don't want them to get lost in the sauce under conversations, because as you can see, it gets very lengthy over here. To try and find the person again will take some time. So whoever you're conversing with, say for example, let's go back, Chantel, you're texting them back and forth. I appreciate that. She's in the process of narrowing down her options. What you would do to put her into needs more time is search her name under opportunities, and she would have been in new lead. The venue owner dragged them into needs more time though. So you would just take the lead in new lead, put them in needs more time. This is a mental reminder for you to follow up with this lead whenever they request in the text. So she didn't really give a time frame, but you can reach out as you like. That's why they're in needs more time. And then another way to move them into needs more time right in the conversations window is you click on this people icon all the way to the right, click in here, and then stage, it would be a new lead. You would just click on needs more time, click on update, and that automatically moves the lead under opportunities into needs more time. Now, one scenario I want to cover is, say for example, a lead replies, they're under unread. One thing that we have set up is anytime a lead responds, they automatically move under opportunities into a stage called replied. So we have this replied stage built out. So anytime a lead writes back, they move from new lead directly into replied. So we could see over here under unread, we have this lead over here, and we sent over a text message. They responded with 919 Seacliff Manor, and this lead moved into the replied stage. So why do we want to do that? So now what we can do under opportunities, we can see the leads that have actually responded, and what we could do is track people. So say for example, they're sitting in this replied stage for 4 days. That's how we have it set up. So if they're sitting in this replied stage for 4 days and they haven't scheduled in a tour yet, they will automatically get moved into auto follow-up. And I'll walk you through exactly what auto follow-up does. Just so you guys know, this requires no action at all on your end. It's essentially there to follow up with the leads that you guys write that don't schedule in tours. Because I'm sure you write people and you write, great, when can I get you in for a tour? And they just don't reply and they will not respond. You don't have to do anything. It's automatically taken care of for you. So that lead will automatically get followed up with. So there's no action required on your end. All you have to do is worry about your unread messages, and people that don't book in tours will automatically get followed up with. And then just so you know, for the not interested category, these are all people that are not interested that respond with the word stop. So we'll open up Abby, for example. So she actually didn't respond with stop. She was just not interested. Let me find one that responded with stop. So right here, we sent out our automated message. She responded with stop. Whenever somebody responds with either stop or unsubscribe, that automatically moves the lead into not interested, and it also stops our automated messages completely. So we don't send them out any more texts if they respond with stop. So another thing that I want to show you guys in high level that will save you a ton of time is SMS templates. Now what these templates are, if you click on SMS, you'll see there's a little file button on the bottom. It looks like a piece of paper. It says insert template and then in parentheses snippets. So you click right here, and if you click on this white area where it says template, we have different templates built out. These are two very basic SMS templates that you can send out to people. One is date available and one is date not available. So if you click on this template and then click on use template, it automatically preloads a text message in high level. So you could send this out to anybody that's interested in scheduling in a tour and then click on send, because this message is a message that you'll more than likely have to keep on retyping. You're gonna have to keep typing, hi, that date is available, would you like to schedule in a tour? Or if the date's not available, if we click on the paper button and then date not available, unfortunately, we're already booked for your requested date. Are you open to discussing other available dates? So these are messaging templates. So to access these templates, if you click on marketing and then templates in parentheses snippets, you can see the two templates that we have here. And you can actually edit these templates. If you click on this pencil button, you can tweak it. You can click on the pencil button over here for date not available, tweak this one. You can add brand new messaging templates. So for the sake of this training, I'm going to add a new one, and we'll just say test and I'll just say this is a test and then save. So now say we want to use this new test template that I just added. You would go under conversations and then click on the little paper button on the bottom, template, and now you can see we have test. You would never use this message over here, but say you wanted to, then you would click on use template, and then it automatically preloads the text that we just typed up. So you would click on marketing, templates in parentheses snippets, and you can add and tweak the current templates that we have in HighLevel. And last but not least, the Wedding Pro integration. So if we take a look under contacts, I have filtered just the not leads. So you can see what information we get. We get their full name, their phone number, and their email. So we're able to text and email all the leads that we generate through the not. So if we take a look, we have their number, we have their email, and if we go to Wedding Pro, let's find one of the leads. We'll say Cinnamon Lewis over here. If we go to Wedding Pro, let's find Cinnamon Lewis. We can see, if we scroll down, we have the email and we have the phone number, so we're able to send automatic text messages and automatic emails to the not leads. So just so you guys know, there's no action required on the Wedding Pro dashboard. So anytime we get a new lead, you don't have to do anything over here. We're automatically texting and emailing these leads. Once they text back, that's when you guys get notified on your end, and then when you can step into the conversation. And for the Wedding Wire leads, we are able to send the Wedding Wire leads automatic text messages. So you can see this is a Wedding Wire lead right over here. Thank you for inquiring on Wedding Wire and requesting more info on our packages. Here's the link to view our pricing guide. Did you have an estimated date and guest count? They responded, we replied. Now we're just waiting on a reply back. So we're able to take care of the automatic lead communication for the Wedding Wire leads as well. So there's no action required on the Wedding Pro dashboard. So essentially we're taking all the leads, we get their contact info, and we're able to drop them into our automatic text message and email sequence to increase the likelihood of a reply back. So that's exactly how the Wedding Pro integration will work. All right, and the final part of the desktop CRM training is, say for example, somebody calls the venue, they want to schedule in a tour, and they're not already in GoHighLevel. So what you're going to have to do, you can think of HighLevel on the computer as your phone. So what you would have to do is, if somebody calls you and they're not already a contact, you would have to add them into your database or your contacts on your phone. So that's the same thing here. You click on contacts, there's a plus button, add contact, type in the person's name, last name, email, phone number, click on save, and then say, for example, I just added in a contact. We'll make pretend it's Christina, and Christina wants to book in a tour. You click on her name. It's this calendar button right here that says appointments. You click on add, and then you book it in just like I showed you earlier on in this video. The calendar's already defaulted. You just select the date, the time, book appointment. That will automatically move them into tour booked right over here. So that's everything, guys. The entire desktop CRM training. It might take you a little bit to get down, but that's why you have this video and you'll understand it. It just takes a little bit of practice, but as you use the CRM, you get used to it. You'll see how useful it is for the business. So that's the entire CRM training on the desktop.